Ken, hey, beautiful.
Hi, you look pretty. Look at
So
you.
do you.
Glad I got all done up, honey. You look all
Oh,
glowing there.
stop it. Stop it. I'm so glad we have a chance to speak and catch up. I know things didn't go well last week when we tried to. I apologize for that.
No, I apologize too. I ended up having to move it because I was being bombarded with a lot of press, and I was really excited to talk to you guys. And then I was like, well, make sure you reschedule it.
No, of course. You always show the Jasmine brand so much love. And that was the night that Cruel Instruction was actually airing.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
So I was like, she has to be super busy tonight.
And I completely, when we set it up, I forgot, like, oh shit, I gotta watch the movie. Hello, I've been promoting this movie and I forgot I gotta watch it.
I was like, is she going to watch it? And it's like coming on right now.
Girl, I've been so hectic. I just forgot. So
it's okay. As journalists, we are flexible. We are flexible. You're married to one. So
yes, exactly. I know. So anyway, hello. Here we are.
I'm Cheyenne Corinne. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you.
Where are you? So where are you right now? I know that you're bi-coastal. You're always traveling. Like, where are you right now?
I'm in California,
okay,
which is where I've been spending most of my time. This is actually my husband's work studio for BNC.
I see.
Yeah, so it's all set up with lights and stuff in here. So I just usually do most of my Zooms in here.
Makes sense. I mean, that's the great part about, being with the journalists is they always have all the lighting, all the setup
everything. Yeah. And the great thing is we have the exact same setup at Lake Bailey as well. So when we're in Atlanta, it's identical to this. So we have 2 rooms.
See, that's goals. That's why it's perfect when you and your husband both are, getting to it. I feel like that's where Mike was during your interview with him. Wasn't it when he asked, what is something that you do for me that you don't like doing?
Oh, yes, that interview.
That was hilarious.
Girl, it's so funny because, I was doing so much press for my Lifetime movie, Cruel Instruction. And, I just forget sometimes that my husband is a journalist and has a show too. He's a show on BNC. So he was like, babe, you think I can get an interview? And I was like, oh my God, of course you can get an interview. Like, I just completely didn't even think about it. So he was like, well, I'm going to be really tough on you in my interview. And I'm going to ask you some questions. Like, he really wanted to make a whole statement, like, he could give me this tougher interview than anyone else can do.
Right.
And he was like, he wanted me to keep it 100.
Oh,
so I kept it 1,000.
That's 1,000. Listen, because you said it. I'm on your side because you said, you were like, how honest can I be?
Thank you. Said it. He literally fell out of his chair.
He literally fell out. He was just like,
he's like, girl, we're on a morning show. You can't say all that. I was like,
morning television.
But what was so interesting? A lot of people didn't know what reverse cowgirl was. So, like, I've started a movement. I got a lot of my friends like, girl, you got me over here and do this damn reverse cowgirl now.
You have to do a class or get some t-shirts or something. You have that very entrepreneurial spirit. So you'll make something out of anything.
Listen, I'm telling you. But,
you have to. Now, speaking of you being, a big entrepreneur, happy Women's History Month. I like to say that to all of the women that I speak to. You just are such a trailblazer in so many ways. And I know that the women in your life, such as your mom and your grandmother, also influence you. Can you talk a little bit about how they've influenced you to be just such a trailblazer?
Yes, absolutely. Well, my grandmother, who I just recently posted about, Frankie Mae Ford, originally from Alabama, she was the first example of what I actually saw to even know to be an entrepreneur. Like, she was like a hustler. When I tell you, she worked at a sewing factory, then she sold hot dogs and hamburgers during lunchtime. And then she cleaned houses after work. And then she also would she just had 100 jobs. And I was like, wait, why are you always working? All the time. I just remember her always just being busy, working, hustling. And she wanted, she had goals for herself. And this is my grandmother was just really practically almost a slave because, slavery went on a little longer in some parts of the South. So she was still, still had that mentality. She wasn't thinking I'm trying to be a boss. Like, she was really just trying to provide for her 11 kids that she had. And
right, just make it.
Oh yes. So that just always stuck with me, her work ethic. And one of the things that she told me, as simple as it is, it just really is true. She was like, if you work hard enough, you can do and have anything that you want. And that is why I'm a boss. I'm an entrepreneur. And again, I may not be the smartest, the prettiest, and the most talented, but I'm gonna outwork you every single time because I show up. I don't play by my work. I'm professional. I'm not a diva. I don't make it hard or difficult for people to work with me. And the universe just keeps blessing me because I do show up. And again, I'm very humble always. Like, every job, I treat every job like, oh, thank you, Jesus, I got me another job.
And you stay booked. You stay booked to 50. So it's working.
Listen, you see this next chapter over here, okay?
It is working.
Humility is a beautiful thing. And I think a lot of times people don't expect that. And it's been my saving grace. I will always be grateful for every opportunity and just use what God gave me to just continue to make a way for myself and to, inspire others.
Absolutely. And you definitely do. And I can definitely resonate with that. My family is from South Carolina, so they're from the South. And even with me being a journalist, there's things that my grandmother has been able to teach me about, just even her working at a supermarket, and just those still wherever you go, those lessons that are rooted in you really just carry you to wherever you're headed. So I definitely understand what you're saying. My grandmother is also someone that just motivates me and has just showed me, the way. And it's hard as women. It's very difficult as women, especially when you're in certain spaces. It's if you're in media, as we are, if you're in entertainment, it's even more difficult for women, and especially women of color.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Now, speaking of Trailblazer, let's check in. You have so many business ventures, so excuse me if I missed some. You have the wine. First, let's start with the wine bar, because I've actually been to your wine bar.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. So one of my sorority sisters, I'm an AKA, she had her one of her birthday parties at the wine bar. Okay. And this was like 2 years ago, and I actually got to meet your sister when I went there.
Wow. Yes.
She popped up. But it was beautiful. It was a great experience. I had a ball. The person that was there, I guess one of your employees, he was great as well.
Good. Okay, good.
Yeah, it was amazing. So any plans to expand on the wine bar? Because I was just like, this is just too good for her to not, make this larger, have more locations. Yeah. Like, I really enjoyed myself.
Well, you know what? When I decided to get into the wine business, I really, really thought of it being just a buy and go, like just get your wine and leave. But our customers actually wanted more of an experience. They wanted to come and they wanted to sit, they wanted to have a drink, and they wanted to take pictures and everything. So it ended up being more, the Bailey Wine Cellar ended up being more of a place to go for more of an experience. So as I continue to grow the business and I'm spending more of my time in California now that I'm no longer on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, I definitely feel, we live in Porter Ranch, California. Okay. And we definitely need a Bailey Wine Cellar out here, because we need like a little cute place you can go for a vibe, because it is a vibe. It's so cute and small, and intimate. It's beautifully decorated. And I think, it would be amazing to be able to take it to LA, to New York, because I think it's something so great about just being able to have a place where you can just go and just grown folk business, just go pop a glass of wine, have a glass of wine. I've had so many book signings there, just really small, intimate events where people can just come and fellowship. So absolutely, this is something that I'm interested in franchising and taking to some of the other cities. And as I just celebrated my 55th birthday, I'm a woman of a age. I go hard.
50 Cent.
50 Cent. I go hard for my 50 folks. So with that said, I love grown and sexy. I really feel like the wine industry, the culture of wine, the history of wine is just really just sophisticated and just like, sexy. I really do. So that's one of the things that really attracted me to learning more about the wine industry.
No, and it was very much so grown, very much so sexy. We got a cheese plate to go along with it. We were taking pictures, like you said, like it was an entire vibe. We just had the whole thing to ourselves. And something that I liked is, I just happened to run into your sister, but it just reflected how hands-on you guys are as a family. Like, how are you able to be so hands-on?
Well, I mean, honestly, for me, it's a matter of, putting people in place that I trust. Mal has done a phenomenal job at the wine cellar. Like, she literally learned about wine when I was like, okay, you're going to take this job and you're getting ready to be sommelier. Like, I don't know how you feel about this, but she really stepped up, and she's very knowledgeable. The customers love her. The business is doing very well. Of course, we took a hit during COVID. We're still recovering from that. I wish I could be there more and be more hands-on, but I'm, mama got to figure out this next job, honey. This next chance. But yes, it's a great business, and I definitely think it has room to grow. And in terms of family, if I'm going to have anybody over there, family isn't always the easiest to work with. Okay.
No, they're not.
But I do know that they have my back 100%. My mom, my sister. So yeah, it's not easy, but if I'm gonna have to pay somebody and deal with something anyway, it may as well be family. So
it might as well. Seriously, keep it in the family. Keep it in the family.
Yeah.
Now, also, I know that you had CB Vior, the modeling school, the event space. How are all of those business ventures going as well?
Yes, CB Vior is doing very, very well. You guys can check out. I have a new smoke collection. We've had some delays with China with all the stuff that's going on. So anyway, we're waiting on some stuff to come in, but that is very much thriving. I'm excited to introduce some different, products for the line. We have our sweatsuits. I had on my sweatsuit in the Big Brother house, my sweatsuit I really wear and stand behind all of my businesses. So CB Vior is definitely, I definitely see us really, being in, the malls. I'm talking to the people at the Beverly Center about doing a shop there. So CB Vior is doing very well. The Bailey Agency School of Fashion. We're really more digital. Again, COVID kind of changed the format of what everything looked like in terms of gatherings, and it looks like we're kind of finally getting out of it now. So
it looks like it.
Yes. Even in LA, did not play about.
No, not at all.
COVID, okay,
not at all.
The mask and everything. Atlanta was a little more lax with it. But...
it was night and day.
But
night and day.
But I'm definitely now that I'm not on the show anymore, I definitely want to kind of reboot and restructure the Bailey Agency School of Fashion as well, because everywhere I go, like with all of the different businesses that I have, I get asked the most about the school because, every, kids, like everybody, wants their kids to be in, a model or an actress or whatever. And although we have so much access to information now, a lot of people still don't know, especially us, don't know how to really get their kids into the industry. And they feel like I'm a safe person, someone they could trust to really, give them direction. So that's something that I plan on, rebooting and just restructuring and getting that up and going the way that I would like to, other than just online. What else? I still have my amazing partnership with Seagram Escapes.
They're so good. Oh my God, they're so good. Yeah.
And what I love about Seagram's Escapes is, Seagram's is, as a company, they're very pro women, and something that really attracted to me them when we decided to partner up. And to going back to that whole hard work and that work ethic, I went from having my own signature cocktail of the peach Bellini, which you guys saw on the show and all that stuff. Like, I was very hands-on. I've been to the factory. I was in the lab, put it all together. It's too sweet. It's not sweet enough. Needed some more carbonation. I was the boxing, the packaging, my pictures on it. I have a quote on it. They have just been phenomenal to work with. But what I really love is the Seagram's Escapes empowerment tours that we go on, and to different cities. But of course, COVID messed that up too. So hopefully we'll be
everything
back on the road soon with that. But they've rode with me through COVID. We figured out different ways to keep the partnership going, and that has been a blessing. And, you know, from my hard work, that's what I was getting ready to say. Going back to the hard work, I was actually able to take that partnership and actually get me another little job, because now I'm actually the brand ambassador for the entire Seagram's Escapes line. Okay. See what I did there? You get in, you let me in the room, give me one job, and I done made that into 2 jobs. Okay. That's going back to that hustler mentality. You got to definitely, you know, just always be present to take advantage of opportunities when God presents them to you. So I feel very lucky and blessed to work with Seagram's.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of opportunities, you're not new to acting. You know, people may think you're new, but you're not new to acting. And you have this new Lifetime movie that just came out last week, Cruel Instruction, and you play a mother whose child was abused and, you know, dealt with the guilt because their child went through abuse. And this is something that we've actually seen play out with like some names such as like Paris Hilton. She spoke about this. But my question to you is, what did you learn about abuse at treatment centers for teens while you were preparing for this role?
Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, I feel like this is a conversation that we just don't have enough. I don't know, you know, if this is a huge issue for the Black community, because I know like, well, I didn't really know any Black families that sent their kids to boarding schools and, you know, sent them away in that way. So this was like very educational for me, just to realize, wait a minute, this is happening. This is like really a thing, because again, it wasn't a part of my world. Like you got sent to grandmama house, you got sent to your auntie house. You know, there was no money for boarding schools and all that stuff. So with that said, I was excited to be a part of this project, because I really feel like, you know, in 2022, I'm sure anyone that can afford to send their kids away to a place that they think they're sending them to get help if they are a troubled teen, needs to know about some of these facilities and this institutionalized child abuse, basically. I actually had a chance to do Paris's podcast yesterday. And what I didn't realize was that she actually went to the academy that the movie was about, and she was there for 11 months. And you look at her life and you think, how could this happen to someone like Paris Hilton? And you know, it was a very emotional interview. You know, I just got emotional as a mother, because like so many times you think you're doing something to protect your child, and you know, the biggest priority for any mom or dad is to protect their children, and then you end up literally putting them in harm's way. And how, you know, as parents, we have to trust our discernment, we have to trust our gut instinct, and we have to listen to our kids. We just have to. And it was an amazing role for me. It was easy for me to get into the mom role because I am a mother, and you know, Noelle, you know, was a teenager. She's 22 now, and you know, she's dealt with different issues in her life where I felt like, you know, the communication wasn't where it needed to be, and that's, you know, something that we always work on, just making sure that we are on the same page and we're talking on a regular basis. It's a terrible thing to watch something like this happen to your child, and you put them in that position and realize that you have done something that is going to affect their life for the rest of their lives. And the guilt that would come with that, you know, as a parent, is something you never really get over. It's very overwhelming. And I really applaud Lifetime and Breaking Silence for really making this movie, because I did the interview with, you know, a lot of people watched the movie. They watched the movie. They were mad at me. They were like, how could you leave over there? You should have saw the sun. I was like, this is a movie. This is not a reality show. Okay. This is the script. I am the actress in the movie. And these are the lines that I have. But they were like, when I tell you they were mad at me, they had a really big moment on social media. The premiere was very, very powerful, to say the least, because people were like outraged. Like everybody that watched it was like, I didn't know that like places like this existed. And, you know, they were upset.
How did it make you feel seeing all of that outrage on Twitter when
I was just as surprised as I was when I read everything. And when I read the script and I did my research. And again, what I was going to say is when I talked to Paris on her podcast, she was saying that it's actually way worse than anything that we could have shown. Because Lifetime has to keep it a little not too dark.
Of course.
She said it is way worse than anything that you can imagine. And that a lot of, what did she say? Oh, she said probably, I forgot the percentage, but it was a pretty high percentage. Like, there are some facilities that are okay, but she said probably about 90% of them are not good. And I thought that was a high number.
That's very, yeah.
Dedicated her life, her legacy to, carrying this message and keeping this conversation going. So kudos to her for that. And I'm really glad that I was able to be a part of something that, is really, really important for people to know about, because honestly, had I not done the movie, I hadn't really even thought about, the abuse that goes on in these places, or really, I didn't really know much about it at all.
And when you're talking about, like, you weren't familiar with this situation because this, for instance, you were raised very different than how Noelle is being raised. Are there any concerns that you had with her as a teenager, or even still as a young adult? Because she's modeling now. Is she in New York?
And she's also an actress.
An actress, yeah. Do you have any concerns just about how different things are from your experience based on her experience, having a mother that has this platform, that has this voice, that is very well known, any type. And also what I noticed about your character is that there was a lot of guilt as a mother that she was feeling. Any experiences that you've had that in real life as a mother?
Oh, 100%. And I really don't really love to talk about it because I don't like to talk about regrets in my life.
Yeah.
I look at regrets as lessons and not regrets. But one of my regrets, I do have one, on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and it's where we filmed her going to college for her first time. And this was her real life going to college. It wasn't like we were faking a scene and it was like a different day. It was really the orientation. It was really everybody showing up with all their Bed Bath & Beyond stuff and, the big bins you loaded in, all of that stuff. And the night before she was leaving, we were shooting the film, like a goodbye for her. In my mind, I'm thinking, this is going to be so great, on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, on this show, which is, a Black show now. It's an African-American cast now. We get to show one of our children go off to college, and she's going to a Black college. She went to Howard University. And I was like, this is going to be so great, Noelle, to show this. This is so positive. And I really, one of the things that I've always tried to do was balance, like, any drama that I had going on the show with positive things that's happening. With us, especially with our children. And you guys have
noticed that about you. Definitely.
Yes, that's very important to me. Very important to me. If it's Black-owned businesses, whatever it is, it has to be, you guys, you get a little bit of drama, but you're going to get some good positivity from as well. So anyway, with that said, I thought this is going to be great to show the world this. And what ended up happening was, it kind of backfired on me, because she was really, you got to realize, Noelle is my only child. So this is her really leaving the nest for real. And, I remember the night before, I had a few people over to send her off. We had like a little caterer come and, whatever. And she literally was like upstairs in her room, like having a panic attack, crying like a friend. And I had to, in that moment, pretty much shut down the cameras and tell everyone to leave. Like I had to like go from being like, okay, I'm at work, we're filming a scene, my child is really going to college, but my child really needs me right now. Yeah. And this is not like the cameras can't go with us on this one. Like I got to like shut it down and really be present. And I did that. And we made it to Howard, still filmed when she got there. Me thinking, okay, that was just a moment. We're going to be okay now. I've been mama bear all night long. You slept in my arms. We're going to go to Howard and we're going to show our audience what this looks like, And we show up and what ended up happening was, because, we show up like everybody else is like with their parents, is us with like, a whole production team of probably like 10 people. And of course, everyone was like, oh my God, is that Cynthia? Oh my God, is that Leon came or dad came? We just blew up the spot. Noelle is dying at this point because now she's getting all this unwanted attention that she really didn't want. We filmed for 2 days. We're showing everything, her little dorm room, the whole thing. And then we get on the plane and leave her there. Now she's got like, even kids who moms may be fans of mine, like, you need to go over there, and be friends with Noelle, because, I love Cynthia. She's my favorite on the show. Yeah. But these are not, what was happening was a lot of the people that were befriending her would normally, like, they weren't befriending her because of her. They were befriending her because of the show. And it just ended up just putting her in a really kind of not a good space. And then I had to try to fix it. I was like, okay, well, we'll move you off campus and, move you in an apartment. And then it just still was just never right. And so finally, after her being there for a year, and I just knew, again, going back to that mother's instinct and intuition and discernment, I would like, but I'd be in New York working. I'd be like, I'm going to pop up and surprise Noelle. And I'd pop up and show up, and the blinds would be down, and they'd be like, have you been to class? Do you still go to class? What's happening? So the signs were there that she was not happy there, to say the least. And we kind of set her up for failure in a way, just doing too much, but thinking we're doing something great. Yeah. So when you ask me that, and I don't want to get emotional because I just put this makeup.
No, you're almost making me emotional.
I literally felt so bad that I made her college experience such a fiasco. You know what I mean? Thinking, oh, this is going to be great. And it's like, this is my child really leaving home for the first time and really trying to make friends. Noelle homeschooled most of her life, so she's a little socially awkward. She doesn't like a lot of attention, despite the fact that she's on my show or was on my show. But she was part of my package. She didn't have a choice when she was 8, just was what it was. And as she got older, I would let her pick and choose if she wanted to film or whatever, but she was never like, hey, where the cameras at? Like, she was just never that kid. And I felt bad. I felt really, 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 really bad. And I remember the last time I went to see her, and I just knew there was nothing. She was.
No, it wasn't right. And I remember watching all of this on the show because I'm like I'm 26. So I'm 4 years older than Noelle. Mm-hmm. We have a very similar personality as far as being very low key, very chill. And my mother is very much so the opposite. But I definitely understand what you're saying, but I also want you to know though, that watching it, I was able to relate because it was so much like my going to college experience. So it was so great to see someone that was just super calm. And I also had that anxiety of like just freaking out right before I went. And, I had a mom, that was comforting me, holding me in my arms, but she was also a principal in my district. So she was very well known also, and like, different than you, but also like still I get it. Yes. Daughter thing. Oh yeah. But I do want you to know that it was great for other people to see the college experience, especially when it looks just so similar to mine. I'm actually in the DMV right now. So I'm like 20 minutes from Howard. Okay. Yes, I'm like 20 minutes from Howard, but I get what you're saying about, that guilt. And I think that as moms, you sometimes think that, I'm doing what they want, especially when you're different. Yeah. But you just never know. But I love throughout that situation when she decided this wasn't for her and you saw she wasn't doing well. You were quick. You were like, I see it. Like, I'm listening.
That last visit, I went to her house. I'm like, I want to be here. Yeah. Like, no. I was like, do you want to leave? And she's like, yes. I got on the phone, I called my agent, called everybody, said I need 3 days. I don't care what I have on my schedule. I need 3 days. And I don't have time to explain. I called the moving company. They came the next day. I literally packed up the cable box and went and returned the cable box myself. They were like, hi, Miss Bailey, how you doing? I'm like, when I say we're packed up, I'm packing boxes, getting tape. Like, listen, when I tell you, and it was the best thing I did. And I said, okay, you're going to come back to Lake Bailey and figure it out. Tell me what you want to do. She was home for maybe 2.5 months. She said, I want to move to California. She moved out here and she's been out here ever since. And she is doing very, very well as an influencer.
She is. She really is.
Actress. Her dad has been acting forever. So she has all of that. I'm acting. My new husband was acting. We all acting out here at this point.
An acting family. I love it. No, she's definitely flourishing.
And now you can see it even in her photos. She's just in a beautiful, beautiful space. And she's happy. And that's all we want. We just want y'all to be happy.
And that's all you want. And if you show up when we need you, that's all we care about.
And she honestly thought that she was like, well, I know you and my dad wanted me to go to college and it's HBCU and I was like, girl, we want you to just be great, but we don't want any of it if it's not what you want. So,
exactly.
Yes.
Now that space is the modeling, the acting, the entertainment space. This is also a space that has some of those similar experiences that these treatment centers, that boarding schools have. What have been some of your most specific things that you hope that you're able to protect your daughter from in this industry? Anything?
Well, this is the modeling industry alone. Like, we'll just talk about that. It has changed a lot of different things have been exposed. A lot of the girls that I started with, it's very easy to get caught up on drugs, eating disorders, from having to be a certain size. Thank God, the industry is embracing women in all shapes and sizes now. So it's gotten a lot better. I will say, Leon and I raised Noelle to be an independent thinker. She's definitely a question asker. You know what I mean? She's just not going to go in the situation and be like, oh, okay, so I'm just supposed to do this. Oh, you just want me to take my clothes off? No,
right.
She's a very, very bright young lady. And with that said, I don't have to worry about her too much. If anything, I was probably a little more naive going into the business because, I didn't have a mom that really knew anything about the business to prepare me for anything. Honestly, my mom was just like, if it doesn't work out, you're gonna have to come back home and figure it out. But she was like, don't do drugs, don't do anything wrong. And I was like, okay. And to this day, I don't do drugs. I love a cocktail, but I don't fool with drugs now. You know what I'm saying? So she has been able to just, see my journey. Again, she's been in the entertainment industry her whole life because her parents have been in it. So I guess she just picked up things along the way, and she has a lot of discernment, and she's a very, very bright girl. So Noelle is fine.
Now, something I wanted to ask you, for the last, I would say, year or so, Tyra Banks, she has gotten a lot of slack about how she treated the models on America's Next Top Model. What are your thoughts? You're a model, you have worked with Tyra. What are your thoughts about this?
I have been asked about this before. So I didn't really, I haven't followed America's Next Top Model to see the specific situations that you are asking me about, but I did come up at the same time as Tyra. And what I do know is that she knows her stuff. Okay. Tyra definitely, I watched her basically become a supermodel. You have to have a very tough skin to be in this industry. I've gone, to castings. I remember when I first went to Paris, I literally would go on a casting after with no money. I finally, scrape up money to get on the train to go to the casting, just by myself. I don't know French. And I would turn up and literally they would look at my picture and just close the book and say, thank you, you can leave. And I'm like, wait, oh my God, I just traveled 2 hours to get to this casting. I don't even know how to even get back home. But it can be a very, very tough industry. So I don't know if what she was giving them was tough love, but it, honestly, the Instagram model era, completely different from what we went through. And I think Tyra is really showing what we went through coming up. And, if you're not the right size, and be like, you need to lose weight. You're too fat. You need your teeth. You got buck teeth. You need to get them fixed. Your breasts are too little. You need to get your boobs done. Oh, your breasts are too big. You need to get them reduced. Oh, you don't have, they were just very, very it was always just very honest and very straight up. And for us, as African-American girls in the industry, it couldn't be that many of us. When I first signed with my agency, it was maybe 300 white girls and 3 Black ones. So yeah, it was never, it was always very difficult to even get with an agency and even get into the industry. So if you were chosen to get in, they said you got to get your boobs done, you got your boobs done. They said you had to drop 20 pounds, you dropped 20 pounds, however you had to do it. And that is just the reality of that was the reality of that industry. So I have a lot of love and respect for Tyra. I'm sure whatever she was trying to teach, the girls on the show, was really coming from a place of what it was like, what she went through and what I went through. So yeah, I mean, she knows her stuff.
You can only teach what you know. And like you said, sometimes it's coming from a place of love. I know that me being on TV as a reporter, if something is wrong, if my collar is wrong, if my hair is wrong, my mom or my grandma, they will let me know because they know that someone else is going to let me know. They'll give me that hard talk, that hard lesson, because they would rather they say it, and I'm prepared for when a manager is going to say it. So I definitely understand what you're saying at all. Now, do you think that Real Housewives of Atlanta, I mean, you were already acting, you already had acting experience before Real Housewives of Atlanta, but do you think that it helped you at all with your acting or with your acting career?
100%. It helped me, although it's a reality show, Real Housewives helped me be comfortable around production. I'm not like, I think as a new actress, one of the last things that I have to worry about is like, being shy, like walking into a situation. I'm just a very confident person. And I was confident before, but it's like a different confidence now because I'm around different people all the time. So I have to, be vocal. I have to be friendly. I have to have a good attitude, like, because we have to get, the job done. So yes, when I go to set, like my whole thing is making sure I connect with the other actors, the director, and make sure I know my lines and I'm prepared to do the work. All the extra, like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing a movie. I'm on set, all these people, the lights, whatever, I've been getting mic'd. All of that stuff is like, I've been doing that for my whole life. So I'm very, very comfortable on set, which I think is one of the most important things for an actor to be, because even no matter how talented you are, if you're not comfortable and you're like, can't even believe like this is all happening and, this is a lot of moving parts, it can definitely affect, how you, perform. So, yes.
Now, you were comfortable with Real Housewives of Atlanta, but I feel like you were a little less comfortable with Big Brother, more so the challenges, but you ended up making it all the way to the finale. Like, how familiar were you with the game? And did you expect to make it that far, especially losing all those challenges?
Girl, I never won anything. Okay. Never got blood on my hands because I never won anything. I was never in a position of power to do anything ever.
That was your tactic, probably.
But you know what? I wish I could say that it was my strategy to go in there and lose everything, but it actually wasn't. You're like, once you get in there, you're like, okay, I want to win something now because at least I want to get, win HOH and get in a nice room and have my own private bathroom for like 3 or 4 days. Absolutely. So, I went into Big Brother, honestly, not really knowing a lot about the game. I did watch the first 2 celebrity seasons. I watched the second one because Candy was on it and I supported her, but I didn't understand like, being backdoored and, I didn't understand that you could be in several alliances and it wasn't like betraying your initial alliance. Like I didn't know all of that stuff. I went in playing a really clean game. I was like, I connected with Carson right away. I was like, okay. And of course, the advice Candy did give me was like, don't get in an alliance right away. Fill it out, be under the radar, because she went really far too by doing that. Girl, as soon as I walked in the damn door, Carson was like, oh my God, Cynthia, I'm so excited to see you. Can we work together? And I was like, yes, we can work together. So I was like, do it. I'm already in an alliance. It's been 2 seconds. I'm already in one. So Anyway, but I ended up staying. Carson and I were thick as thieves all the way to the end. He is my lifelong friend at this point. I want to do so many things I want to do with Carson. He is amazing. And we played a very similar game. He played a very clean game as well. So that's what we connected on. And we're like one of the older ones in there. We were like some of the older folks in the house too. And we, cooked and cleaned. So I played the game the only way that I could play the game, and that's with integrity, being a woman of my word, and with passion. Now, I did have some emotional moments, and you can ask Tyra Banks about that.
Now, so did you have a chance to watch yet?
You know what? Honestly, and I have to be honest, I have been as soon as I got out, you guys remember we had no access to anything.
Right.
I had so much stuff lined up when I got out. I immediately started my Lifetime press tour. Yeah. So I was like, and then I was just like, I had to get acclimated again. It was weird. I didn't think I was going to be in there 30 days. Like I thought, we talked to a psychiatrist when we go in, and we had to talk to someone before they would actually let us leave the CBS slot. You know what I'm saying?
And what type of conversation, like what type of conversation?
They were just preparing us to leave, especially like, you just get like every morning, like it's almost being in prison. It's like a weird thing. Like, we have no control over light. We have no control over temperature in the house. We don't have sun. We don't have phones, computers, TVs, nothing. So there's our only way to escape is to actually just go to sleep, which is why you see a lot of people napping all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And you do. There's no real mental stimulation. Like a lot of people play cards all the time. We started like a little spades group. Todd and I were buddies. He was my spades partner.
Yeah.
And Lamar and Carson. And just anything just to kind of keep it going. But what ended up happening was when I finally got out, I was kind of they finally gave me my phone back after 30 days. And you can only imagine how busy my life is. Girl, I turned the phone on and it was like ding, 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 ding. I was like, oh my God, I'm not ready. I just not ready to really be back in the world, because our world was the house and the people in the house. All we had to worry about was like cooking, cleaning, and like not getting evicted. Like that was it. That was our reality. And I basically cooked and cleaned my way to final three for the most part, because they were like, well, who's going to do all this? Who's going to clean the bathroom? And Cynthia.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I was making sure that, I had to keep my
clean. That was your key. That was your key. So you
I was a full auntie.
Listen, you got to do what you got to do. Then you wanted it to be clean.
Yeah, but to answer your question, I did not finish watching. I got up to about the third episode, but I am going to watch it. But once you live it, it just takes a minute. And then there was so much drama when we got out, and everybody was so upset when we got out. And I was like, what is happening? And I never saw the live feed. And apparently all this stuff was on the live feed. And I was like, you know what? This is not Real Housewives of Atlanta. I cannot take it right now. Like, I want to see my husband. I want to see my kids. I want to sleep. I want to use my own bathroom that I don't have to share with 11 people, and just get acclimated back into the world. And then I had to work. I had to start press right away. So I haven't finished watching Big Brother, but I did start it, and I will finish it at some point.
Okay. No, I asked that because I was just asking, have you gotten a chance to really see how? I'm just trying to figure out what made you turn on Shayna. How did they convince you?
Oh my gosh.
So all of that is, but you haven't seen really everything yet. So
no, I just know what everyone told me.
A lot to digest.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. When I was one of the last people to come out, so the people that came out before me, they got a chance to watch all that stuff. So I didn't. And for Shayna, she was a part of my alliance with Carson. And she had some other alliances going on. She was in the bottom final four with Misha and Todrick and all these people. And once they brought that to me, I was just like, wait, Carson and I, we're protecting each other. And Shayna was, Shayna's a super fan. So she really understood the game, which is why she was in some different alliances. Yeah. But she was like our leader. Like, we didn't make any moves without her. Yeah. But we didn't know she was on the other side as well. So I was just like, she's betraying us. She's, so again, I felt like she was betraying us. Now that I know a little bit more about the game, it's like, okay, well, she kind of was, but still it wasn't it just is what it is. So she was playing the game, and I felt horrible, and I did apologize to her. And I love Shayna. She's a great girl. And again, I think there's a difference when you come in as a super fan and when you just come in as a Cynthia Bailey.
Completely different.
Yeah.
Now, something else that I'm surprised about, I feel like Todd didn't get that much love as he should have. Why do you think that was so?
Like in what way?
I feel like Todd wasn't really getting all, not from you, but on the show. I feel like he wasn't getting as much love as he really did. And then my other question also with Todd is there, do you think there's beef with him and Maisha outside of the house as well?
Oh, okay. Okay. So the first one, you know what? Todd came in. I was probably the most excited to see Todd because I've been watching Todd Bridges my whole life. And, you know, I even had a poster of him on my wall when I was younger. He's like, you just don't see. I mean, I am very well traveled. I am in these LA streets, New York. I ain't never seen Todd Bridges nowhere. So when he walked through the door, I was like, oh my God, it's Todd Bridges. And he was the one that, like, he was the most famous person in the house to me because he was on TV since he was 5. Okay. Yeah, he was on Little House on the Prairie. Okay. So, you know what I'm saying? So you don't get no more famous than him. So for me, I immediately was like, you know, wanted to get to know him. And of course, he ended up being the first person I got into it with. Yeah. But, you know, had a little 50 Cent moment in there.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, it does. Pressure cooker. Okay. And I am, you know, I'm in premenopause over here too, 55, mood swings. I got a lot going on. So, but we were able to, you know, get on the other side of that. And he's actually one of the people that I'm the closest to other than Carson. Yeah. I
definitely have noticed that. That was pretty clear. I feel like,
I love Todd and we'll be friends for the rest of our life. Like he's good people. Okay. And in terms of him and Misha, you know, Todd was a huge fan. Like I was a fan of Todd's, but Todd was a huge fan of Misha Tate. Like he was like, as soon as he saw her, he wanted to work with her. Like all the guys love Misha because she's like this badass wrestler girl. You know, like all like, you know, she's like a guy's girl. Like, you know, they all like, oh my gosh, she like broke this girl's nose and whatever. So he came in definitely as a fan of hers, and that's who he chose to work with. And you know, kudos to Misha. Misha was a beast to beat. You know, her and Todrick together were definitely a dynamic duo, but she would have went far in any case for sure. When her and Todrick got together, forget about it. You were asking me about Todrick, right? Were you asking about Todd or Todrick?
No. I was asking about. Well, I guess we can talk about both. But I was talking about Todrick not getting a lot of love.
Oh, Todrick. I know that. Todd. Okay. No,
Todrick. You and Todrick not getting a lot of love.
Let me take it back then. So Todrick, you know, Todrick.
You and Todd, that was right here.
Yeah, we're good. So when, you know, I was very close to Todrick in the house as well. Very close to Todrick. And when Carson left, you know, I was like literally like ready to go myself because now I was like Lamar and Todd Bridges and Misha and Todrick. And I was like on my own with them. Yeah. So, but Todrick took me under his wing and Todrick is a super fan. Okay.
Okay.
I didn't know, I guess, you know, you're supposed to keep it a secret if you're a super fan, if you're in the house.
Right.
He was playing the hell out of the game. Okay.
So he
knew he was the only person. He was the only person that was in that house that was never on the block once because he is that much of a super fan. Like he knew how to play it.
It makes sense.
He was working everybody. Everybody. So he had a hard time in the end. But again, all I knew was my reality when I was in the house. And he definitely took me in. Again, I never saw the live feed. I didn't finish watching the show. You know, I got to know the Todrick that I'm in love with. He, you know, he has a good heart. He's so talented. His story is amazing. And you know, he showed me a lot of love in the house. So that's all I can really base it on. Like all this other stuff some of my other castmates were saying about him. You know, it's unfortunate. Again, I haven't really watched it, but no matter what, I know his heart. And if he made a mistake, he made a mistake. And I just can't, like, you know, there's nobody that I wouldn't. I've been through way worse than Todrick, child. I can forgive anybody. Okay. I have a very forgiving heart and a loving heart.
You have a forgiving heart. And we've seen that forgiving heart play out on the Real Housewives of Atlanta a lot.
Yes.
So we're going to move into talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta, which I am excited about because I definitely have watched Real Housewives of Atlanta since the first season. My first question to you is, if you had to pick a housewife, I feel like I may have an idea of any franchise to be with for 30 days, who would it be?
Ooh, Eva.
Really? Okay. I didn't guess that. Why Eva?
Oh, wait. Eva. But I gotta pick another one because I really, really love Karen Huger as well.
Okay. From Potomac. Okay. Yeah, one of the Potomac ladies. So why those two?
And if I had to pick somebody from Atlanta, it would be Candy.
Okay, that was my guess, was Candy. Candy was my guess. Okay, so why? Because Candy's kind of like, I would think Candy, but why Eva and why Karen?
Eva, because she's just super cool. Eva came on the show. We have a lot in common, the whole modeling history, although we were in, two different, eras of modeling.
Yeah.
She's just a very like cool bohemian sunflower kind of chick. You know what I mean? She's like cook and like, she's just really, really cool people. And, I'm loving light. So we vibe. And it's funny because when she came on the show, they really were trying to put us against each other to like have modeling catfight stuff. And it just didn't really work because we actually really like each other and we're very good friends outside of the show. Candy, because she's just like, I've been knowing Candy. I came on season 3. She came on season 2. Candy has has consistently just showing me love and support. You know what I'm saying? I love that she's such a boss. I'm so inspired by her work ethic. Like I don't know when Candy sleep, honestly, because
I don't know either.
Like she get on my nerves at this point. But I'm like, Candy, what else are you doing, girl? Like, can I just be great? I
can't keep up.
Absolutely, so inspiring. She's just super supportive. Like I know that she was definitely super supportive when I was in a Big Brother house. I couldn't tell anybody I was going in there, but I did tell her. And she was like, I heard that she was like, posting and stuff for me. Yeah. And she's always been that girl. She's not a hater. She's doing her thing. It takes a very secure person to be with Brown Candy because she's doing her thing. So if you ain't you slacking, you're gonna feel less.
I'll feel it.
Okay. You're gonna have to step up to be around her. Yeah. So,
and then what about the Grand Dame?
The Grand Dame, the Grand Dame. I love Karen because, Karen and I both, we're a little older. She's so fabulous. I just think she's so hilarious. She's a boss as well. She's transparent. She's shown her life the same way I've shown mine. You've seen her in Braised Marriage, just like you've seen, my relationships. And I just think that she is such a good example of what it looks like later in life, what it's supposed to look like. She's a good time. She just gets better and better. When I look at pictures when I was in my 20s and 30s, and I thought I was killing it. I feel way, I've never felt more pretty and more sexier than I am at 55 years old. I think Karen is such an example of that as well. So we're letting you guys know you're just 26 years old.
No, seriously, no, you do, because it makes you look forward to it and not like dreading. Oh my,
you guys.
It's like, listen, if I feel like 50 Cent and Karen,
we're not getting older, boo. We're getting better. Okay. And she is aging with such grace and such class. So I just really, really connect with Karen on that level.
Now, if you had to do it all over again with the perspective that you have now, would you join Real Housewives of Atlanta again? Do you ever regret joining the show in the first place?
No regrets. And I would 100% do it all over again. That choice, that platform basically made me famous. Like I have been able to transition very nicely into this next chapter because people know who I am. And I use the platform in a way that from a brand perspective, I always kept a lot of integrity to my brand and who I am. And people respect that. And I think sometimes on a reality show, especially a drama, high conflict kind of based reality show, it's very easy to lose yourself. And it's very easy to not leave it with your brand intact or just a real sense of self, of who you are, and using the platform to promote all the amazing businesses that you have and starting businesses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Every year that I was on the show, I started a business or I started some type of movement that was positive for women, African-American women. And the Real Housewives of Atlanta, I mean, they gave me the platform. They gave me the celebrity. They gave me the fame to transition into this next chapter and do anything that I want to do. So yes. And what was the second part? So did it?
No, I think you answered it. But will we ever see you back?
Oh, you know what? I will never say never, but I will say not anytime soon. I walked away because it was just time for me. I really wanted, there's so much more to me than the show, things that you guys will never get to see. It is an ensemble cast, so you guys will only see snippets of my life. I really want to focus on my marriage. I want to focus on my kids. I want to focus on, I'm 55 years old now. Like it's been 11 years. I've had a hell of a run. And I did think about going back as a friend because they did offer me to come back as a friend. Okay. And I thought about it because I was like, am I ready to just cut the cord? Yeah. But I was like, you know what? I think I am. I think I've had my full circle moment. And who knows how I'll feel in 3 or 4 years. I don't know. But for now, I'm loving my acting journey. I love being on set acting. Like I love being someone else. Like I've been myself as a reality star for 11 years. I want to play somebody else now. I'm tired of playing.
I'm trying to be out of body experience.
I'm tired of my own self. Okay. Yes. I'm tired. I'm tired of me. Okay. I want to play something else now. So yes.
So question, I'm trying to think about the timeline of when Portia announced that she wasn't, or I guess Real Housewives announced Portia wasn't, and you. When you decided not to be on there, did you know that Portia would not be as well? Like, how did that all work out?
No, I didn't know. I actually thought that Portia was going to go back to the show. I had no idea what she was planning on doing. Okay. I made my announcement first before she did. And then hers came after mine. So no, I was surprised. I mean, Portia's a very strong character on the show. You know what I'm saying? She has a huge fan base on the show. But yeah, I mean, she had her own reasons for not going back. Mine basically was just 11 years, consistent, long, strong marriages, divorces, everything. I gave it all. And I just don't have anything else to give right now. But, I'll never say never. We'll see. But for right now, my focus is definitely on acting and hosting and directing and producing. Like I really, again, want to use this platform to help other people get on TV if they want to as well. Not just myself. Like I get, I have access to so many people. There's so many ideas that I have. So I really want to just focus on these other layers that have not been peeled off, that you guys have not had an opportunity to see.
Now, for a while, we at the Jasmine brand, we were kind of hinting that there would be some shakeups that happen at this new season of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. For instance, Marlo, she now has a peach. Olympians Nia Richards-Ross and Sheree is coming back as well. What do you think about this shakeup happening over in Atlanta?
Oh, I absolutely love it.
Okay.
Like even when I was on the show, I always loved when we shook it up and, some left and some came in. And then, the great thing about Bravo, and so, honored to have worked with them. And I still have a great relationship with Bravo and NBC is, they'll let you be a friend and they'll bring you on back as a housewife again later on, a couple of years from now. They'll sit you down for a minute. They come back and get you, what I'm saying? You just never really know. And it's like one of those things, it's like once a housewife, always a housewife in a lot of ways. New blood is always good because what happens is we have our relationships. And then after a while, how many times, it got to the point I was tired of arguing with Nene about the same stuff. Yeah. Like, can I get somebody new to fall out with? What is going on?
Right.
So, the show has to evolve. And, after a while, y'all it just, it gets a little much because we get to the point now is like, even if I have an issue with you, I'm just tired of arguing with you about it at this point. Like, I need something. So I always think new blood is good. And I think Marlo definitely was long overdue for a peach. I'm sure her fans are going to, be excited to watch her storyline play out, because a lot of people don't really know a lot about Marlo.
No.
You know what I mean? But y'all got to find out where his money coming from. Y'all got to find, she's an amazing Monty. You know what I'm saying? And I think I take my hat off to her, that she stepped up to take care of her nephews. That is so amazing.
That was big.
I love Marlo. Marlo has a lot going on, and I think her fans deserve to get to see it all play out. Who else? Who's how do you say Sanya? Is her name?
Yes, Sanya, Richard Ross. Yes, the Olympian.
Yeah, the Olympian. I'm so excited to see her story on the show. I've never met her. We follow each other on Instagram, so she seems like she is going to be an amazing addition to the show, and very different from anyone else that's been on the show. So I thought that was very refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm excited. I'll be tuning in. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be on now I get to actually watch the show from the comfort of my couch with my popcorn and my Seagram Escapes peach Bellini, honey.
Okay. Ooh, that's a good mixture. That's a good mixture. Now, speaking of Nene has definitely been critical of Andy Cohen sometimes. She also has even claimed racism happening in the franchise and the different franchises. Have you ever seen or experienced any difference of treatment of cast members, for instance, like when they make inappropriate comments or anything like that?
I've been on the show for 11 years, and I have not personally experienced any type of racism from the network. They have been good to me, which is why I was over there for 11 years. And I still have a great relationship with them. And I still plan on doing more work with Bravo and NBC, whether it's Housewives or not. They make a lot more television than Housewives. So my experience is my experience, and it's been great. But I'm gonna have to cut you off because I got to jump on another. I got to do a live in a minute.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It was nice.
I can talk to you forever. I really.
I know, right? We were talking too much. It was nice speaking with you, Cynthia. It was nice meeting you. This will be up within like the next few days.
Awesome. I was posting about it. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you as well.
Okay.